Hello, and welcome to another intellectually stimulating episode of Furries in the Media. I'm your host, Abergwine, and today I'm reviewing a clip I found from the Young Turks before they address MSNBC's goof in their coverage of the chlorine attack at Midwest Fur Fest 2014. Without further ado, let's take a look at the segment called Would Anna Date a Furry?
So the annual Furry convention took place in Pennsylvania this year, just recently, and BuzzFeed wrote an article defending them, and I think they did a good job doing so because oftentimes when people hear about the furry community, they just think about people dressed as animals having sex with one another.
It's clear to me that Anna has an understanding of the common misconceptions that people have about furries, and it definitely seems like her heart is in the right place for trying to address some of these misconceptions. The BuzzFeed article she's referencing is called Are Furries Really So Bad? It gives a pretty decent report of furries, and I think it's a good article to base her arguments on.
And look, all kidding aside, they cause no harm whatsoever. So if they get off on, dressing up as animals and rubbing up against one another, God bless their hearts, right?
I am glad that he acknowledges that it doesn't hurt anyone, but the way he said it seems to imply that all furries get off on having sex in animal suits, which not all of them do.
Now, the furry community is mostly composed of males, unsurprisingly.
Of course.
80% of them are males, and they're between the ages of 21 and 24, and that's reported by BuzzFeed.
Granted, the BuzzFeed article got these statistics by asking furries directly, not necessarily by utilizing more refined methods of gathering information, like conducting surveys. Take it with a grain of salt if you wish, but I'd say that those numbers are fairly accurate.
Okay, but I will say this. I think that this is the most harmless fetish on the planet.
I'm not crazy about her use of the word fetish here, as it could be misconstrued as referring to all furries as a fetish, but I don't think that's what she meant.
So, because in some of the pictures they had kids and stuff like that, and they're having fun, yada yada. It bothers me a little bit.
It's literally a convention of people running around dressed like giant cartoon animals. I mean, why would you not expect to see kids there?
Anyway, so what percentage of this is about sex? Do you see what I'm saying? Like if they're just playing patty cakes and they play chess in their fur outfits, okay, whatever, right? But if they're having sex in it, that makes it more fun and more ridiculous at the same time.
Probably not as much as he's expecting. I don't really think he's after a numerical answer here anyways. By reminding the audience of the sexual angle, it seems like he's trying to use that to cast furries in a negative slant for the sake of maintaining his argument, and I don't think that stems from any contempt that he personally has towards furries, but it's still kind of a cheap debate tactic to use.
Definitely a sexual component to it, but I think that it would be misleading to say that anyone who identifies as a furry is into having sex dressed in an animal suit.
I agree. Much in the same way that it's not accurate to describe all people who wear leather jackets as bikers, it's not accurate to describe all furries as people who have sex in animal suits.
You know what I mean? A lot of them do it because it has to do with confidence. For instance, Yippee Coyote says, "It's me, but more confident and outgoing. It's me, but better."
This is true. A lot of furries who wear fursuits or even just roleplay as their persona often have the added benefit of a confidence boost.
Yeah. Here's something else we have for more confidence. Alcohol. Okay? That makes you more outgoing, more confident, more likely to get laid. Here's what you're not more likely to get laid in. An animal outfit.
Why not alcohol for confidence? I don't know. Maybe because alcohol destroys your liver and your life if you constantly depend on it? Besides, most furries aren't looking to get laid when they wear a fursuit anyways. I think he's stretching a few things for the sake of maintaining his argument. Having self-confidence is not the same thing as trying to get laid.
I would argue that alcohol is more harmful than dressing up as an animal, or being a fursuiter, as they would say.
She has a point here. Consuming alcohol on a regular basis can increase the risk of long-lasting negative effects on the body, such as high blood pressure, liver failure, stomach ulcers, stroke, heart attacks, heart failure, a compromised immune system, and I'm sure many other nasty things you wouldn't want to deal with. Versus if a person wears a fursuit out and about on a regular basis, you could equate that to regular exercise, which has been shown to have a number of positive effects on physical and mental health. So yes, I do agree with Anna on this.
I know, but it's a fake confidence. You're in a frickin' animal outfit. You're dressed up as a coyote. That's not real confidence.
No. Alcohol is a fake confidence. Confidence or courage is taking action in spite of one's own fears. Alcohol just lowers inhibitions and makes people more likely to do stupid stuff. You only get the confidence boost from drinking alcohol if you expect to get a confidence boost. It's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy that ultimately gets you nowhere. Wearing a fursuit doesn't necessarily lower inhibitions. There are plenty of fursuiters who are nervous the first time they wear their suit in public. Though I think the biggest difference is that while alcohol removes inhibitions, wearing a fursuit decreases the social barriers that would otherwise inhibit interpersonal interaction. The fear is still there for the fursuiter, but it's a reduced amount of fear that they can now easily manage, and they come away stronger for having dealt with that fear.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying, but I see this as a victimless crime.
Wait, being a furry is a crime now?
I'm just saying that it's strange, I think, to most Americans, especially the sexual angle, right? Mm-hmm. That like, oh my God, oh, she's in a chicken outfit. Oh, that's hot. That's weird. I mean, can we just at least agree that that's weird?
I don't even think most furries would try to argue that being a furry is normal. We know that we're weird. This is not news to us.
Okay, I'm gonna go over the top. It's weird, but it's not enough to weird me out.
Ooh,
yeah,
furry
so
community.
I don't know. Thank God I'm not going to run for president one day. But I feel like if there was a guy that I was really into and he was smart and funny and everything was great, and he was like, look, I want to, but I want to wear a bear costume, I'd be like, all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, you know what? First of all, I want to congratulate you because that's actually terrific. It's very open-minded of you. People have different fetishes, and if you think the guy's great in other ways, and I think that speaks the world of you, to be honest. Okay, what if he asked you to get an outfit?
Sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just see it as such a harmless thing, and it could be fun. I might end up being into it.
Hey, at least she's open-minded enough to give it a try. And honestly, the fact that the co-host is able to recognize her open-mindedness has got me thinking that he may not be as hard-hearted towards furries as he comes off.
All of a sudden, I'm beginning to think you might actually be a furry.
Oh, you don't need to worry. But if she starts coming up with the persona, though, then I've got some bad news for you. Let's take a look at the review stats. Information accuracy is 29%, and the spirit of the clip is 75%, averaging out to 52%. And now time for my thoughts. So, Anna was in favor of furries and based most of her arguments from information in the BuzzFeed article, but her co-host, who argued the opposing side, had no information to base his counter-argument on, so he seemed to use diversions to distract from the points Anna was making, even going to the extreme of defying common knowledge about the dangers of alcohol just for the sake of maintaining the opposing side of the debate. To be fair, since he didn't have any information to go on, he had to come up with his arguments on the fly, many of which seemed to be centered around the idea that at the end of the day, furries are weird. And oddly enough, I agree with that. Being a furry is not considered normal. Rather, it's not what society has deemed as normal, and it would be silly of me to try and argue that it is. And even though the co-host finds it weird, even he admits that being a furry doesn't hurt anyone. Ultimately, this clip was sort of middle of the road for me. While I don't think this segment from the Young Turks did a great job of putting furries in a good light, it wasn't really all that bad either. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't show it to someone who has never heard of furries. Well, that's it for today's episode. Have fun, stay awesome. Bye!